Welcome to Starbound Valor HFY. Humanity never backs down. In the vast hall floating among the stars, thousands of alien leaders from every corner of the galaxy sat in glowing seats. Their skins shimmered in different colors: green, blue, silver, and scales that caught the light like knives. The air hummed with low voices and strange smells. At the center, a huge crystal screen showed a small blue planet spinning slowly. Earth. The speaker, a tall creature with 4 arms and eyes like burning coals, raised one claw high. "The motion is clear," he said in a voice that echoed through every mind. "Earth and its humans threaten the peace of the galaxy. They spread too fast. They fight too hard. They refuse to bow. The vote begins now." Hands, tentacles, claws, and glowing limbs shot up one after another. The word rang out like thunder: "Yes." Cheers filled the hall. Laughter rolled like waves. "Humans are weak," one alien hissed, showing sharp teeth. "Their ships are toys. Their weapons are old. They have no chance." Another added, "We will take their world. We will mine their oceans dry. We will chain their people and make them serve. The galaxy will be clean again." The vote was complete, 100% against Earth. No one said no. No one even thought no. The aliens leaned back, feeling safe and strong. Their fleets were ready. Their plans were perfect. They believed the end of humanity would be quick and easy. Far away, on the quiet side of Earth, deep under a mountain, a small group of human leaders watched the same meeting on hidden screens. The room was dark except for the blue glow from the displays. No one spoke at first. Then General Marcus Kane, a man with gray hair and eyes like steel, broke the silence. He did not look afraid. He smiled, just a small, cold smile. "They voted," he said softly. Around the table, others nodded. No panic. No shouts. No fear. One woman, Dr. Elena Ruiz, tapped a button. A map appeared, showing thousands of tiny red dots hidden across the galaxy, places the aliens never found. "They think we are blind," she said. "They think we sleep." A young officer laughed quietly. "They will learn soon." General Kane stood up. He looked at the screen where the aliens still celebrated. "They called us barbarians. They called us cancer. Fine. Let them see what cancer can do when it wakes up." He pressed a small device on his wrist. A signal shot out, silent, fast, invisible. It traveled through secret relays, past black holes, past dead stars, straight to places no alien eye had ever seen. Out in the deep black of space, something massive stirred. Lights blinked on in long rows. Engines that had stayed cold for decades roared to life with a low growl that no one could hear yet. Huge shapes, darker than night, began to move. Ships the size of small moons. Weapons that could crack planets. Factories that built more machines every hour. All hidden. All waiting. The aliens in their bright hall had no idea. They toasted with strange drinks and talked about the riches they would take from Earth. They dreamed of human slaves working in their mines. They felt like gods. But in the shadows of space, the hidden fleet turned slowly toward their worlds. The signal from Earth reached its target. A final message flashed across human screens: Phase 1 complete. They voted. Now we answer. General Kane looked at his team. "No mercy this time," he said. "They wanted to erase us. Let them feel what erasure means." The room stayed quiet, but the air felt heavy with promise. Something unstoppable had begun. The galaxy thought it held the power. It was wrong. The humans had waited years for this moment. Now the waiting was over. Deep in the void, the first engines burned brighter. The stars themselves seemed to watch. And somewhere, in the dark heart of it all, a single human voice whispered again, "Now it begins." The aliens laughed on, blind to the storm that raced toward them. They had voted against Earth. Soon, they would beg to take that vote back. But votes, once cast, cannot be undone so easily. Not when humans are the ones keeping score. In the cold emptiness of space, an alien armada jumped out of hyperspace near the edge of human territory. 500 massive warships hung like dark predators, their hulls glowing with purple energy shields. Each ship was a monster of metal and crystal, bristling with cannons that could melt moons. At the center floated the flagship, the Pride of Zorath, commanded by Admiral Vexkar, a towering being with red scales and horns that curved like scythes. He stood on the bridge, claws tapping the arm of his throne. On the main screen, the small human colony world of New Dawn appeared. Green fields, blue oceans, tiny cities. Weak. Defenseless. Vexkar laughed, a deep rumble that made his crew flinch. "Look at them," he said. "They hide behind pretty planets. No real fleet. No spine." He opened a channel to the planet. His face filled every screen on New Dawn. "Humans of Earth colonies," he boomed. "The Galactic Council has spoken. Your worlds are forfeit. Surrender your ships, your resources, your lives. Or we burn everything in 1 hour." He leaned forward, eyes blazing. There will be no second chance. The aliens on the bridge cheered. They expected screams, pleas, or silence from terror. Instead, nothing came back. No reply. No ships rising to fight. Just quiet. Vexkar frowned. "Scan deeper," he ordered. Sensors swept the system. "No warships detected," a crew member reported. "Only civilian transports. They have nothing." Vexkar smiled again. "Then we take it all." He raised a claw to give the attack order. Suddenly, a tiny shape appeared on the scanners, a single small drone, no bigger than a fighter craft. It floated calmly between the Armada and the planet. No weapons visible. No shields. Just a smooth black sphere with one red light blinking slowly. The aliens stared. Vexkar narrowed his eyes. "What is this joke?" The drone's voice came through every speaker. Calm, clear, almost bored. A human voice. Male. "Steady. This is your one and only warning. You have 24 hours. Leave this system. Leave all human space. Or regret it forever." Laughter exploded on the bridge. Vexkar threw his head back. "A drone dares threaten us?" He pointed. "Destroy it. Now." 10 beams lanced out from the nearest ships. They should have turned the drone to dust. Instead, the beams bent, twisted, and snapped back like rubber. The energy struck the ships that fired. Explosions bloomed, bright, silent in vacuum. 20 warships vanished in fireballs. Hulls tore open. Crews screamed over open channels. Alarms wailed. Vexkar's laughter died in his throat. "How?" he snarled. The drone floated untouched. Its red light pulsed once. Then it spoke again. "That was mercy. A small taste. The next one will not be small." Before anyone could react, the drone exploded, not in a big blast, but in a perfect sphere of white light. The wave rushed out. It touched shields, and shields popped like soap bubbles. It touched hulls, and hulls folded inward like paper. 30 more ships crumpled. Debris spun away. The Armada, so proud moments ago, now looked broken. Screams filled the channels. Panic, fear, disbelief. Vexkar gripped his throne. His claws dug into metal. "Fall back," he roared. "Regroup at rally point." The surviving ships jumped away in disorder, leaving burning wrecks behind. On New Dawn, people watched from bunkers and rooftops. They did not cheer loudly. They just nodded. In a hidden command center under the planet's surface, Colonel Sarah Lynn stared at the screens. Smoke rose from alien wreckage in orbit. "First contact," she said quietly. "They came. We answered." Her team worked fast, checking data, sending reports. One screen showed the drone's final transmission log. It had carried a simple payload, a micro-singularity bomb. Tiny. Deadly. Designed years ago in secret labs on Earth. No alien had ever seen it before. Colonel Lynn turned to her second-in-command. "Send the message to High Command." She typed quickly. Warning delivered. Enemy losses. 53 capital ships. No human casualties. They laughed at first. They are not laughing now. Far away, in the deep bunker under Earth's mountain, General Marcus Kane received the report. He read it once. Then twice. A faint smile touched his lips. "Good," he said. "Phase 2 begins." He looked at the star map. Red dots blinked, alien fleets moving, council worlds lighting up with alerts. The aliens thought one defeat was bad luck. They would soon learn it was only the start. Back in the Galactic Council Hall, emergency lights flashed. Leaders from every species crowded around screens. Admiral Vexcar's broken face appeared, scales pale, eyes wide. They had something, he stammered. A weapon we did not know. It ate our shields, our ships. Whispers spread. Fear crept in. One leader, a feathered being from the inner rim, stood up. We voted to crush them. Now our fleet bleeds. Another hissed. It was one colony. One warning. We have thousands of ships left. But the room felt different now. The laughter was gone. The confidence cracked. On Earth, the hidden signal network hummed again. More lights woke in the dark. More engines growled. The humans had waited decades for this. They built in silence. They planned in shadows. The aliens voted to end humanity. Humanity voted back, with fire, with silence, with no mercy. The galaxy felt the first shiver of doubt. They had poked something sleeping. Now it opened its eyes. And those eyes were cold. The 24 hours ticked down. Somewhere in the void, human ships moved closer. Silent. Patient. Ready. The storm had only just begun. The aliens would beg soon. But not yet. Not until they lost much more. In the endless black between stars, far from any charted path, a forgotten sector waited in silence. For 50 long years, human engineers had worked here in secret. No lights leaked out. No signals escaped. Massive construction yards floated like ghosts, dark spheres wrapped in stealth fields that bent light and radar alike. Inside those yards, row after row of warships slept. Not small fighters. Not ordinary cruisers. These were predators built for one purpose, to end threats before they could strike. Now, the signal from Earth arrived. It was a single pulse, short and coded. Deep inside the lead yard, systems woke. Red lights turned green in sequence. Engines hummed low, then built to a growl. One by one, the ships opened their eyes. The first to stir was the Vanguard class, sleek, arrow-shaped hulls longer than skyscrapers. Their skin was midnight black, absorbing every photon. No reflections. No signatures. They carried weapons that aliens had never dreamed of, railguns firing slugs at near-light speed, plasma lances that cut through anything, and dark matter drives that let them slip in and out of reality like shadows. Behind them waited the heavier classes, Leviathan battleships with armor thick as mountains, and the rare Titan carriers that could launch swarms of drones faster than thought. Thousands of them. Tens of thousands. Built in hidden asteroid belts, fueled by stolen alien tech turned against its makers, crewed by humans who trained in simulators for decades. They knew this day would come. They waited patiently. Captain Elias Thorne stood on the bridge of the lead ship, the Retribution. He was tall, scarred from old battles no one outside Earth knew about. His uniform was plain black, no medals, no rank flashes. He did not need them. His crew watched him with quiet respect. Thorne looked at the main holodisplay. It showed the galaxy map with alien fleets marked in red. Council worlds glowed like angry eyes. "Status," he said simply. The AI voice, calm, female, human-designed, replied, "All systems nominal. Stealth fields at maximum. Fleet synchronization complete. Awaiting your command." Thorne nodded once. "Wake the others." Full spread. Across the void, lights blinked on in patterns only humans could read. Ship after ship powered up. Engines flared briefly, then dimmed to nothing. They moved, slow at first, then faster. A silent tide of death sliding toward the heart of the galaxy. Scout ships from the alien armada patrolled nearby sectors. Small, fast vessels meant to sniff out threats. One such scout, the Eye of Krell, drifted close to the hidden zone. Its sensors swept wide. Nothing. No heat. No emissions. The pilot, a young insectoid named Zik, relaxed in his seat. "Another empty run," he muttered to his partner. "Humans are finished anyway." Then the alarms screamed. Red lights everywhere. Contact. Multiple contacts. Zix's claws flew over controls. The scanners showed nothing at first. Then faint ghosts, shapes that flickered and vanished. What in the void? Before he could finish, a shadow passed over his ship. No warning. No shot. Just a pulse from nowhere. The eye of Krell's hull buckled inward. Systems died. Lights went black. The scout vanished without a trace. No explosion. No debris. Just gone. More scouts followed the same fate. One after another, they disappeared into the dark. No messages got through. No survivors. The alien command centers filled with confusion. Technical glitch? One officer asked. Another shook his head. Too many. Something hunts them. Probes were sent next, tiny drones packed with sensors. They jumped in, scanned, and tried to jump out. Most never made it back. The few that returned carried broken data, fleeting images of massive black shapes, silent and swift. One probe caught a clear frame, a hull so large it blocked stars, smooth as oil, moving without sound. The image hit council screens like a bomb. Leaders stared in shock. Whispers turned to shouts. "What is that thing?" A feathered delegate stood up. Humans hid an entire fleet. "Oh. For how long?" Admiral Vexcar, face still pale from his earlier defeat, gripped the table. "We thought they were weak. We were wrong. They prepared while we slept." In the Retribution's briefing room, Captain Thorne faced his officers. Holomaps glowed around them, showing alien supply lines, defense grids, homeworld shields. "They voted to wipe us out," Thorne said, voice low and steady. "They laughed at our small colonies. Now we show them the cost." He zoomed in on a bright star cluster. Nexus Prime, their main supply hub. Fuel depots, shipyards, troop transports. "We hit it first. Hard. Fast. No prisoners. No traces." The officers leaned in. No fear in their eyes. Only focus. One lieutenant spoke. "They will send everything to stop us." Thorne smiled thinly. "Let them. Our ships vanish before they lock on. We strike, we fade. We leave bodies and questions." The room filled with quiet nods. They had drilled this for years. Every move planned. Every weakness exploited. The fleet accelerated. Stealth fields held perfect. No radar pinged them. No telescopes caught their trail. They slipped past alien patrols like smoke through fingers. On border worlds, sensors twitched, ghost readings, then nothing. Alarms blared for no reason. Crews reported shadows in the void. Commanders dismissed it at first. "Nerves," they said. But the losses piled up. Scouts gone. Probes lost. Entire listening posts silent. Fear spread like a virus. In the council hall, emergency sessions ran non-stop. "We must pull back fleets," one leader urged. "No," another snapped. "We double patrols. We find them." But deep down they knew. The humans were not running. They were hunting. Captain Thorne stood alone on the bridge now. The stars streamed past in distorted streaks, dark matter drive at work. He thought of Earth, of the vote, of the laughter in that bright hall. "They wanted slaves," he whispered. "They get ghosts." A alert chimed. First target in range. Nexus Prime glowed ahead, bright, busy, unaware. Thorne turned to his crew. "All ships, battle stations. We go in silent. We come out in fire." The Retribution's weapons powered up with a soft whine. Across the fleet, the same happened. Thousands of barrels aligned. The galaxy thought it was safe. It was not. The hidden fleet had woken. And it moved with one mind, vengeance. The aliens would see soon. They had voted against Earth. Now Earth voted back. In blood and shadow. The first blow was coming. And it would hurt. In the Orion Arm, near the bright star cluster called Vale's Edge, the Galactic Council had drawn its line. 2,000 alien warships formed a perfect wall of steel and fire. Cruisers, dreadnoughts, carriers, every class the galaxy could muster. Their shields overlapped like scales on a dragon. weapons charged, ready to vaporize anything that dared approach. At the center hung the command ship Colossus, a floating fortress with guns that could crack continents. Admiral Vexcar stood on its bridge again, this time with fresh scars on his scales. He refused to run anymore. "This is their end," he declared. 50 human ships against 2,000. They cannot hide forever. His officers nodded. Confidence returned. Scouts had tracked faint signatures, human ships slipping closer. The trap was set. The aliens waited, engines hot, targeting computers locked. On open channels, Vexcar broadcast to the system. "Come out, humans. Face us. Or die hiding like cowards." Laughter rolled across the fleet. They pictured easy glory. Medals. Stories of the day they crushed the upstarts. Then the sensors screamed. 50 small blips appeared on the edge of the formation. Human ships, plain and simple. No fancy stealth. No massive hulls. Just standard cruisers, old designs the aliens had mocked before. The humans did not charge. They did not speak. They simply vanished. One moment there, next moment gone. No jump flash. No warp signature. Just empty space where ships had been. Vexcar leaned forward. "What trick is this?" Before anyone answered, the first beam struck. A thin line of white-hot light sliced through the nearest dreadnought. The ship split in half like fruit under a blade. Secondary explosions ripped outward. Crew screams filled the channels. Another beam. Another ship gone. The aliens fired back wildly. Plasma volleys, missile swarms, particle lances. All missed. The human ships were nowhere. Then they reappeared, behind the line, inside the formation. 50 against 2,000, but moving like ghosts. They darted between capital ships, too fast, too close. Railguns spat kinetic slugs at point-blank range. Armor crumpled. Shields popped. A carrier lost its flight deck in one pass. Drones spilled out, burning before they launched. Panic spread. "Lock on! Fire everything!" Vexcar roared. But the humans did not stay still. They hit and faded. A cruiser appeared above a battleship, dropped a singularity mine, then vanished. The mine collapsed inward, pulling half the battleship into nothing. Debris spun away. Another human ship materialized in the heart of a carrier group. It fired once, a lance of dark energy that ignored shields completely. 3 carriers died together in a chain reaction. The alien formation broke. Ships tried to scatter, but human vessels were already there, waiting. They cut lanes through the chaos. No wasted shots. No mercy. Every strike was surgical. Precise. Deadly. In 10 minutes, the battlefield changed. Half the alien fleet burned. Wreckage floated like broken toys. Escape pods launched in panic, only to be picked off by small drones that appeared from nowhere. Vexcar's bridge shook. Alarms wailed non-stop. "How many losses?" he demanded. A trembling officer answered, 1,012 ships destroyed or disabled. Human losses, 0. The words hung heavy. 0. Not one human ship scratched. Not one reported damage. On the Retribution, Captain Elias Thorne watched the same battle from a distance. His fleet stayed back, the main hidden armada. These 50 ships were bait. Decoys upgraded with the best stealth and speed tech Earth could build. They carried no large crews, just automated systems and a handful of elite pilots. Thorne spoke into his comm, Phase 4 executing perfectly. Enemy cohesion collapsing. His voice stayed calm. No excitement. Just fact. On screen, alien ships tried to regroup around the Colossus. Vexcar's voice cracked over open channels. Regroup. Protect the flagship. But it was too late. The decoy ships vanished again. Then reappeared around the Colossus itself. Beams lanced out from multiple angles. The fortress ship's shields flared, then cracked. A railgun slug punched through the armor. Internal explosions bloomed. The Colossus listed. Vexcar's face appeared on every surviving alien screen, wild-eyed, desperate. Fall back. All ships fall back. The retreat was ugly. Ships jumped blind, crashing into each other. Some never made the jump. Human drones chased the stragglers, picking them off one by one. In the council hall, leaders watched in horror. Screens showed the slaughter. No cheering now. Only silence. A scaled delegate whispered, "They fight like demons." Another said, "We outnumber them 20-1, and we lose." The room filled with fear. They had thought numbers would win. They were wrong. Humans did not fight fair. They fought smart. They fought cruel. They used every trick, every secret, every year of preparation. Back in the void, the 50 decoy ships faded away again. No pursuit. No gloating messages. Just silence. They returned to the hidden fleet like shadows slipping home. Captain Thorne looked at his crew. "Well done." "Casualties?" "None," came the reply. He nodded. "Send the data to Earth. Let them see." Far under the mountain, General Marcus Kane watched the feed. He did not smile. He just said, "They are learning." Slowly. He turned to his map. More red dots, alien reinforcements moving. "Let them come. We have more to show." The galaxy trembled. 2,000 ships reduced to less than half in minutes. No human blood spilled. The aliens who survived carried tales of ghosts in black ships, of beams from nowhere, of death without warning. Vexcar sat in his damaged escape shuttle, staring at the stars. His pride was gone. Only fear remained. He whispered to himself, "What are they?" No answer came. But deep in space, the real fleet moved closer. Engines quiet. Weapons hot. The first big battle was over. The aliens had lost. Badly. And the humans had only started. The vote against Earth echoed in every mind now, not as a decision, but as a mistake. A fatal mistake. The begging would come soon. But first, more fire. More silence. More proof that humans were never weak. They were patient. And patience, in war, is the deadliest weapon of all. The stars watched. The storm grew stronger. In the quiet hours before dawn on countless alien worlds, the first signs appeared. On the glittering spires of Zorath Prime, the capital of the Zorathian Empire, office lights flickered. Computers in vast data centers blinked once, twice, then froze. Screens filled with red warnings, unauthorized access detected. Engineers rushed to consoles. Fingers flew over holographic keys. Nothing worked. Systems locked. One by one, factories across the planet shut down. Assembly lines for warships stopped mid-build. Robotic arms hung lifeless. Fuel refineries powered off. Lights dimmed in military bases. Soldiers stared at blank screens where targeting data should have been. Alarms wailed, but no one could silence them. Panic rose like smoke. The same thing happened on a dozen other worlds. The crystalline cities of the Lyrith Collective went dark. Their elegant shield generators failed without warning. Missile silos refused to open. Communication towers broadcast static instead of orders. On the volcanic forges of Krell Dominion, massive forges cooled. Molten metal hardened in molds. Workers in heat suits pounded on locked controls. Nothing moved. Across the galaxy, alien networks, built over centuries, shared between species, turned against their masters. Ships in drydock lost power. Engines would not start. Weapons refused to charge. Entire fleets sat helpless, floating like dead metal husks. In the council hall itself, the giant crystal screen cracked with static. Leaders pounded tables. "What is happening?" one shouted. No answer came. Only the soft, calm voice that suddenly filled every speaker in the galaxy. It was a human voice. Male. Steady. Without anger or joy. Just fact. "This is Earth Command. Years ago, you welcomed our traders. You accepted our gifts. Our tech. Our code. You never asked what was inside. Now you know." The voice paused. "The virus was planted long before your vote. It slept. It waited. Your decision woke it. Your networks are ours now. Your factories are silent. Your ships are blind. Your weapons are toys. This is not destruction. Not yet. This is a reminder. You voted to erase us. Feel what erasure tastes like. The message ended. Silence followed. Then screams. On Zorath Prime, Admiral Vexcar stood in his command center. His flagship, the Pride of Zorath, was docked for repairs. Now it was a tomb. Lights flickered. Doors sealed shut. Air recyclers stopped. Crew banged on panels. Vexcar tried to access the main console. It showed his own face, recorded weeks ago, smiling as he laughed at human weakness. The face spoke. You said we were weak. Look around. Vexcar slammed a fist down. Sparks flew. The console died completely. Outside, the city lights went out block by block. Citizens poured into streets, staring up at darkened skies where defense platforms should have glowed. Instead, only stars. Cold. Indifferent. In hidden bunkers on Earth, teams watched the feeds. Colonel Sarah Lynn sat with her analysts. Screens showed alien worlds falling into chaos. One analyst reported, virus propagation at 98%. Core military systems compromised on 23 key planets. Civilian grids next if needed. Lynn nodded. Hold civilian for now. Let them feel fear first. General Marcus Kane entered the room. He watched silently. No smile. Just cold calculation. They thought our tech was primitive, he said. They copied it, improved it, shared it. Every upgrade carried our seed. Every alliance gave us deeper access. He turned to the map. Dots blinked, alien supply lines severed. Fleets stranded. They voted against us. Now their empire chokes on our gift. Alien leaders gathered in emergency sessions. The hall, once bright with confidence, now felt small and dark. Holograms flickered as connections failed. A feathered delegate from the inner rim spoke first. We must negotiate. Offer terms. Another snarled, no. Find the cure. Burn their worlds. But voices cracked with doubt. One scientist, scales pale, stood up. The virus is adaptive. It learns. It hides in backups. We purge one system, it jumps to another. It uses our own encryption against us. Whispers spread. How long has it been there? Since the first trade pacts. Before we even met them. The truth settled like ice. Humans had planned this for generations. While aliens built empires, humans built traps. Silent, patient, perfect. Desperate messages flooded human channels. Some polite, some begging. Please. We were wrong. Release our systems. Earth did not answer. Not yet. Instead, on one border world, a single factory came back online, just enough to build one small drone. It launched. It carried no bomb. Just another message. It broadcast to the planet below, this is Mercy number 2. 24 more hours. Then we take more. Much more. The drone self-destructed in a harmless flash. A warning. Not a kill. The aliens understood. They had time. But not much. In deep space, Captain Elias Thorne received the update on the retribution. His fleet waited, silent and unseen. Virus phase complete, the AI reported. Enemy response. Panic level critical. Requests for dialogue increasing. Thorne looked at his officers. They beg already. Good. He zoomed the map to the Council home system. We move closer. Let them see our shadows on their sensors. No attack yet. Just presence. The fleet shifted. Engines whispered. They glided toward the heart of alien power. Invisible. Inevitable. The galaxy felt the squeeze. Worlds without power. Ships without control. Leaders without answers. The vote that seemed so easy now felt like a noose. Aliens who once laughed at humans now whispered prayers in the dark. They offered resources. Tech territory. Anything. But Earth stayed silent. The virus waited. Ready for the next command. Mercy had limits. And humans were drawing the line. The aliens had cast their vote. Now the price came due. Not in fire. Not yet. In darkness. In silence. In the slow, cold realization that they had woken something they could never control. The storm was not coming. It was already here. And it wore a human face. In the shadow of Earth's moon, where no telescope from alien worlds could easily peer, a new shape emerged from the dark. It started as a ripple in the void, light bending strangely, stars winking out one by one. Then the shadow grew. Massive. Impossible. A hull so vast it seemed to swallow the moon itself. Lights flickered along its edges, cold blue lines that traced circuits wider than cities. The ship had no name on official records. No class designation. Just one word painted in stark white across its bow, letters tall enough to read from orbit: Retribution. It was longer than most small moons, wider than the widest alien dreadnought. Its surface was smooth obsidian, absorbing radar, light, heat, everything. No exhaust plumes. No visible engines. It simply existed, a black wound in space. Inside the command deck, Captain Elias Thorne stood at the center console. The bridge was quiet. No shouting. No alarms. Just the soft hum of systems that had waited decades for this moment. Crew members, human, calm, eyes sharp, monitored screens that showed the galaxy in real time. Alien fleets scrambled. Council worlds lit up with panic signals. The virus had done its work. Now it was time for something louder. Thorne looked at the main holodisplay. It zoomed on the alien capital system, home to the council hall itself. Thousands of warships gathered there, desperate shields overlapping. "Status on the beast," Thorne said. The AI replied instantly, "All reactors stable. Primary weapon charged to 80%. Secondary arrays online. We are ready." Thorne nodded once. "Show them we are here." The Retribution moved. Not with a roar, but with a slow, deliberate glide. It crossed light minutes in seconds, dark matter drive folding space around it like a cloak. Alien sensors screamed warnings across every world. Unknown contact. Massive signature. Impossible mass readings. It's bigger than a planetoid. In the council hall, leaders froze. The giant crystal screen switched to external feeds. There it was, the shadow. Growing larger. Blocking stars. One delegate dropped to his knees without realizing. "What is that thing?" Admiral Vexcar, patched through from his crippled flagship, stared in horror. His voice cracked. "Humans, they built this? In secret?" No one answered. Fear choked the room. The Retribution stopped just outside the capital system's outer defenses. It hung there, silent, menacing. Then it spoke. Not through channels. Not through broadcasts. The voice came from everywhere, inside heads, through speakers, vibrating hulls. The same calm human voice from the virus message. "You voted to end us. You laughed. You planned our chains. This is Retribution. One shot. One lesson. Watch. No demands. No negotiations. Just statement." Alien fleets moved to intercept. Hundreds of ships rushed forward, brave, foolish. They fired first. Plasma lances, antimatter torpedoes, graviton beams, everything the galaxy had. The energy slammed into the Retribution's hull. Shields did not flare. They did not crack. The attacks simply vanished. Absorbed. Gone. No damage. No scorch marks. The ship did not even flinch. Then it answered. A single beam lanced out from its forward array. Thin. White. Perfect. It crossed the void in a heartbeat. It struck the lead alien superdreadnought, the largest in their line. The ship did not explode. It folded. Metal twisted inward like paper caught in a vacuum. The hull collapsed into a pinpoint, then vanished in a flash of Hawking radiation. A black hole berth, contained and brief. The dreadnought was gone. No debris. No survivors. Just empty space where a kilometer-long war machine had been. Screams filled every channel. Fleets scattered. Some ships jumped blind, crashing into each other. Others froze, crews paralyzed. In the council hall, leaders shouted over each other. "Stop it! Talk to them! offer anything. Mercy. One scaled general tried to open a channel. The retribution answered before he finished. Another beam fired, not at a ship, but at a nearby moon used as a military outpost. The moon cracked. A clean line split it in half. Chunks drifted apart slowly. Atmosphere vented. Bases on the surface burned in silence. The beam had cut through rock like a knife through butter. No explosion. Just surgical removal. Captain Thorne watched without expression. "They see now," he said quietly. His comm officer reported, "Enemy cohesion broken. Multiple surrender signals incoming." Thorne ignored them. "Target their primary shipyard in orbit of the capital." One more demonstration. The retribution shifted slightly. A wider array powered up. This time the beam was broader, a wall of light. It swept across the massive orbital yard, docks, factories, half-built warships. Everything in its path ceased to exist. Metal evaporated. Structures dissolved. The yard vanished in a perfect arc of nothing. Billions in resources, gone in seconds. The aliens had no defense. Their shields meant nothing. Their numbers meant nothing. This ship was beyond them. Back on Earth, General Marcus Kane watched the feed in the underground bunker. Colonel Sarah Lynn stood beside him. "It's working," she said. "They are breaking." Kane nodded slowly. "They begged the virus to stop. Now they see what comes next if we do not hear please." He looked at the star map. The retribution was only one. Others waited, sisters in the dark, just as large, just as deadly. Hidden bases across the galaxy held more. The humans had not built one monster. They had built a family of them. In the council hall, chaos reigned. Leaders fell to their knees. Tentacles trembled. Wings folded in fear. Vexgar's hologram flickered. "Please, we surrender. We were wrong. Mercy. Name your terms." The calm voice returned. "Your vote started this. Our answer is not finished. Beg louder. And remember, we can do this again. And again. Until nothing remains." The transmission cut. The retribution turned slowly. It did not leave. It waited. A shadow over their world. A promise of more. The galaxy understood now. Humans were not weak. Not barbarians. Not cancer. They were judges. Executioners. Patient gods who had waited in silence. The vote against Earth had awakened them. And awakening carried a price. The aliens stared at the black giant in their sky. They whispered prayers. They offered everything. But the retribution stayed silent. Watching. Waiting. The begging had begun in earnest. Mercy was possible. But only on human terms. And those terms would be harsh. The stars dimmed under its shadow. The storm had a face now. And that face wore no smile. Only cold certainty. The end of the old galaxy had arrived. In fire. In silence. In the shape of one word painted on black steel. Retribution. In the heart of the Galactic Council Hall, the once bright chamber now felt like a tomb. Emergency lights cast long red shadows across the tiered seats. Alien leaders huddled in small groups, voices low and trembling. The giant crystal screen still showed the aftermath of Retribution's strike, the empty space where their greatest shipyard had been, the cracked moon drifting in pieces, the black giant hanging silent over their capital like a judge waiting for confession. No one laughed anymore. No one boasted. The air smelled of fear, sharp sweat, burnt circuits, the faint metallic tang of panic. Admiral Vexgar's hologram flickered in the center of the floor. His scales had dulled to a sickly gray. One horn was chipped from slamming his fist against a console earlier. "We must face facts," he said, voice hoarse. "Our fleets are crippled. Our worlds are dark. That thing out there can erase us with a thought." A feathered delegate from the inner rim stood up, wings half raised in agitation. "Then we negotiate. Offer tribute. Resources. Territory. Anything to make it stop." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the room. A crystalline being from the outer veil nodded rapidly. "We were wrong. Humans are not barbarians. They are something else. We must admit our mistake. But not everyone agreed. A tall, insectoid general from the Krell Dominion slammed a clawed limb on the table. Sparks flew. No. We do not kneel to primitives. We still have reserves. Hidden shipyards. Secret weapons. Pull back what fleets remain. Strike their homeworld directly. End this now. Several hardliners nodded. Voices rose. They bleed too. One lucky hit. We outnumber them in total ships. The argument grew loud, desperate. Fists pounded. Tentacles waved. The room split, some begging for peace, others clinging to pride. Vexkar tried to speak over them. You fools! You saw what one ship did. Imagine what more can do. Then the crystal screen flared to life without warning. No broadcast request. No channel opened. Just the calm human voice filling every mind, every speaker. Your vote started this. Our answer ends it. No image appeared at first. Only black. Then a single frame, a distant planet, Cayley's 4, a key military stronghold for the Council. Green continents. Blue oceans. Orbital defenses thick as clouds. The voice continued. You debate mercy. You debate fight. Watch. The screen shifted to real-time feed. A thin white line appeared from nowhere. It touched the planet's surface. No explosion. No fire. Just a clean cut. The crust parted like flesh under a scalpel. Magma welled up in a glowing line. Continents shifted. Oceans boiled away in steam clouds visible from space. The planet cracked. Pieces drifted apart slowly. Atmosphere bled into vacuum. Billions of lives, gone in seconds. No warning. No chance to evacuate. Just erasure. The hall fell silent. Completely. A feathered delegate collapsed to the floor, wings covering his face. Vexkar's hologram glitched, his eyes wide. The hardliner general stared, claws frozen mid-gesture. The voice spoke again. That was one world. We have more targets. Your hidden shipyards. Your reserve fleets. Your capitals. Choose now. Beg or burn. The screen went dark. The message ended. But the echo remained. Everyone in the room felt it in their bones. The humans were not bluffing. They were patient. They were precise. And they were finished waiting. A small group of moderates moved first. They gathered around a central podium. One by one, they activated emergency channels. Open, unencrypted, pleading. Earth Command, please. We surrender. We were wrong to vote against you. Name your terms. Resources. Techland. We offer everything. More joined. Species after species. The hardliners stood apart at first, silent. Then one by one, they lowered their heads. The insectoid general spoke last, voice breaking. Mercy. We ask for mercy. The room filled with the sound of broken pride, whimpers, sobs, quiet prayers in a dozen languages. Far away, on the Retribution, Captain Elias Thorne watched the incoming flood of messages. His bridge crew monitored them in real time. Thousands of surrender broadcasts. Offers pouring in. Thorne's face stayed calm. Record them all, he said. Send to Earth. The AI confirmed. Transmitting. Response pending. Thorne looked out the viewport. The capital world below looked small now. Fragile. They beg, he said quietly. Good. But begging is not enough. He turned to his tactical officer. Prepare secondary targets. Keep weapons hot. If they hesitate, we remind them again. Under Earth's mountain, General Marcus Kane received the data burst. Colonel Sarah Lynn stood beside him. Screens showed the council hall, aliens on their knees, heads bowed, voices pleading. Kane watched without blinking. They admit the mistake, Lynn said. Kane nodded slowly. They do. But mistakes have costs. He pressed a button. A new signal went out, short, coded. To the Retribution. To the Hidden Fleet. To every dark ship waiting in the shadows. Accept no terms yet, the message read. Let them sweat. Let them prove it. He looked at the star map. Red dots still moved, stubborn pockets of resistance. One more example, he said. Then we talk. Back in the hall, a single new message arrived. The calm voice again. Your pleas are heard. But words are cheap. Prove your surrender. Disarm your remaining fleets. Open your borders. Send representatives to Earth. Unarmed. Alone. We will decide if mercy comes. The screen showed coordinates, a neutral system near the galactic rim. You have 12 hours. Fail, and we choose the next world. No more words. The transmission cut. The aliens looked at each other. No argument left. Only action. Ships powered down. Borders unlocked. Envoys prepared in fear. The hardliners joined the rest now. Pride shattered. The vote against Earth had been their greatest error. Now they raced to undo it. But deep in space, human eyes watched. Cold. Unforgiving. The turning point had arrived. The galaxy knelt. The humans stood tall. And the storm paused, just long enough to listen. But it was not over. Not until every last debt was paid. The begging had reached the right ears. Now came the judgment. And judgment, from humans, was never soft. In the Grand Council Hall, silence had become thicker than fear. The red emergency lights pulsed slowly, like a dying heartbeat. Alien leaders sat hunched in their seats, eyes fixed on the massive doors at the far end. Those doors, carved from unbreakable crystal, sealed for centuries, had never been forced. Until now. A low rumble started. The floor vibrated. Dust fell from the high ceiling. Then a sharp crack echoed. The doors buckled inward. Metal reinforcements screamed as they bent. Sparks flew. The entire hall shook. Every alien froze. No one breathed. The doors exploded inward in a shower of shards and smoke. Black armored figures stepped through the breach. Humans. 10 of them. No more. They moved in perfect formation, silent, steady, weapons held low but ready. Their armor was matte black, absorbing light, showing no reflections. Helmets covered their faces completely, visors glowing faint red. Each carried a compact rifle that hummed with restrained power. No banners. No flags. Just purpose. They spread out across the entrance, blocking any escape. The aliens stared. Some whimpered. Others clutched seats with trembling limbs. The humans did not shout. They did not threaten. They simply stood. And that was enough. From the center of the group, one figure stepped forward. Taller than the rest. Captain Elias Thorne. He removed his helmet slowly. His face was calm, gray eyes, short-cropped hair, a faint scar across one cheek. No anger. No triumph. Just cold certainty. He looked around the hall. Thousands of alien eyes met his. He spoke in a voice that carried without effort, amplified by his suit. Your vote is over. Now you listen. The words landed like stones in still water. Ripples of fear spread. A feathered delegate tried to stand. Thorne raised one hand. The delegate sat immediately. No shot fired. No force used. Just the gesture. Thorne walked down the central aisle. His boots clicked on the polished floor. The other 9 humans followed at a distance, weapons scanning every corner. No one dared move. Thorne stopped at the speaker's podium, the same place where the vote against Earth had been called. He placed his helmet on the podium. Then he activated a small hollow projector from his wrist. A recording appeared above the crystal screen. It was the council meeting. Clear. Perfect. Every word replayed. The speaker's voice boomed again. Earth and its humans threaten the peace of the galaxy. The vote begins now. Hands raised. Yes. Laughter. Cheers. Humans are weak. We will chain their people. The aliens in the hall winced as their own words echoed back. Some covered their ears. Others looked away. The recording looped the final tally. 100% against Earth. No dissent. No mercy. Thorne let it play fully. When it ended, silence returned, deeper, heavier. He looked at the leaders one by one. You said these things. You meant them. You planned our end. Our colonies destroyed. Our people enslaved. Our world stripped. He paused. Now look at us. He spread his arms slightly. We stand in your hall. Your guards are gone. Your defenses failed. Your fleets hide. Your worlds beg. And we have not even raised our main force. A soft murmur rose from the aliens. Please. Whispers. Please. Thorn ignored them. He continued. You wanted to erase humanity. We could erase you. One command. One signal. Your capitals would vanish like Kaylee's 4. Your species would be footnotes in our history. But we choose not to. Not yet. He leaned forward. His voice dropped lower. We want one thing. All of you, every leader here, will swear on your blood, your honor, your gods, never again threaten Earth. Never again vote against us. Never again call us weak. You will broadcast this oath to every world in the galaxy. You will open your archives. You will show your people what happened here. The vote. The virus. The retribution. The truth. He straightened. Refuse, and we leave. But we take the lights with us. Permanently. The hall erupted in quiet chaos. Aliens argued in hushed voices. Some nodded frantically. Others hesitated. Vexgar's hologram flickered back on, weak, broken. We accept, he said. The oath. We will take it. One by one, others echoed him. We swear. Mercy. We were wrong. A crystalline being stepped forward, trembling. Name the terms. We will sign. We will broadcast. Thorn watched them. No smile. No nod. He simply said, prepare the recording chamber. Now. Humans moved. 2 of Thorn's team escorted a group of aliens to a side room. Others secured the hall exits. No violence. No chains. Just control. The aliens complied. They had no choice. In the recording chamber, cameras rolled. Leader after leader stepped up. They spoke the oath. Voices cracked. Eyes glistened. We, the Galactic Council, admit our error. We retract the vote against Earth. We pledge never to threaten humanity again. We ask forgiveness. We offer alliance on your terms. The words repeated in every language. Every species. Every world would hear. Thorn stood outside the chamber, watching through a viewport. His comm buzzed softly. General Kane's voice came through. Status. They swear, Thorn replied. Broadcast begins in minutes. Kane's response was short. Good. Hold position. No trust yet. Watch for tricks. Thorn ended the call. He looked back at the aliens. They finished the oaths. Exhausted. Defeated. One by one, they returned to the hall. They knelt, not forced, but willingly. Heads bowed. Thorn addressed them once more. Your words are recorded. They will play across the stars. If you break this oath, we will know. And we will return. Not with one ship. Not with 10. With everything. He picked up his helmet. You begged. We listened. Remember that. The humans turned. They walked back toward the broken doors. No rush. No fear. The aliens watched them go. No one moved to stop them. The hall stayed quiet. The oath echoed in their minds. Outside, the retribution waited. Silent. Watching. The galaxy had changed in one night. The council hall, once a place of power, now belonged to the ones they tried to destroy. Humans had walked in. They had made the mighty kneel. And they walked out. Unharmed. Unchallenged. The vote was dead. The begging had been answered. But the new order had only begun. And in that order, humans held the final word. Always. In the shattered silence of the council hall, the air felt heavy with defeat. The broken doors still smoked at the edges. Shards of crystal glittered on the floor like fallen stars. Alien leaders knelt in rows, some on knees, some on tentacles, some flat on bellies, heads bowed low. Their once proud colors looked dull under the dim red lights. No one spoke first. No one dared. The humans had left minutes ago, walking out as calmly as they had entered. But their presence lingered like a blade at the throat. Every alien felt it. Every breath carried the weight of what came next. Admiral Vexcar was the first to break. He crawled forward on all fours, scales scraping the floor. His voice cracked when he spoke. "Please, mercy. We were wrong. So wrong." Tears, clear fluid, ran down his face and dripped onto the polished stone. Behind him, others joined. A feathered delegate pressed his forehead to the ground. "We beg you. Spare our worlds. Spare our young." A crystalline being shimmered with inner light, but the glow was weak, flickering. "We offer everything. Our minds. Our tech. Our ships. Take it all. Just stop." Whimpers turned to sobs. The hall filled with the sound of broken pride, low moans, choked pleas, the wet noise of tears hitting the floor. Thousands of voices became one desperate chorus. "Mercy! Mercy! Mercy!" Captain Elias Thorne had not gone far. He stood just outside the hall, in the corridor, helmet back on. His team formed a loose circle around him. They watched through helmet feeds, every kneel, every tear, every word. Thorne's voice stayed flat over comms. "They beg now. Loudly." One of his soldiers shifted. "Should we go back in?" Thorne shook his head. "No. Let them feel it longer." He activated a private line to Earth. General Marcus Kane appeared on a small hollow in his visor. "Report," Kane said. Thorne answered simply. "Full submission. On knees. Offering everything. Tears. No resistance." Kane paused. Then, "Good. But words are still cheap. Test them." Thorne nodded. "Understood." Inside the hall, the pleas grew louder. Vexcar lifted his head just enough to speak clearer. "Human commanders, wherever you are, we kneel before you. We admit our crime. The vote was evil. We saw strength as threat. We see now. You are not weak. You are unstoppable. We beg forgiveness. We beg life for our people." A group of smaller delegates, younger ones, crawled forward together. One, a soft-skinned childlike being from a peaceful world, sobbed openly. "My home has no weapons. No army. We never wanted this. Please, do not punish the innocent." The words hit hard. Even the hardliners who had argued for war now stayed silent. Their fight was gone. Thorne stepped back into the doorway. The humans entered again. Same formation, same silence. The aliens flinched but did not rise. Thorne stopped at the edge of the kneeling crowd. He removed his helmet once more. His face showed nothing, no pity, no rage. Just calm. "You beg for mercy," he said. "You say you were wrong. You offer everything." He let the words hang. "Then, you voted no mercy for us. You planned our chains, our children's deaths, our world's end. Why should we give what you refused?" Gasps rippled through the crowd. Vexcar bowed lower. "We know. We deserve nothing. But we ask anyway. For our young. For the future." Thorne looked down at him. "Mercy has a price. One thing only. All of you, every species here, will swear never to threaten Earth again. Not in vote. Not in secret. Not in thought. You will dismantle your war fleets. You will send tribute, resources, knowledge, labor, to rebuild what you tried to take. You will teach your people the truth. Humans are not to be crossed. Break this, and we return. Not with pleas. With fire." The aliens nodded frantically. "We swear. We accept. Anything." Voices overlapped in desperate agreement. Thorne raised a hand. Silence fell instantly. "You will broadcast this now. Live. To every world. Show your people you kneel. Show them why." He pointed to the recording chamber. "Go. Do it." The aliens rose slowly, shaking, supporting each other, and moved to obey. Cameras activated. The broadcast went galaxy-wide. Billions watched as their leaders, once mighty, knelt on screen and repeated the terms. We surrender. We beg mercy. We pledge eternal peace with Earth. We pay tribute. We teach our children, never oppose humans. Faces of aliens filled every screen, tears, bowed heads, broken voices. On Earth, in the mountain bunker, General Kane watched the live feed. Colonel Sarah Lynn stood beside him. They did it, she said quietly. Kane stared at the screen. They did. But trust is earned slowly. He turned to his team. Monitor every channel, every ship movement, every whisper. If one species hesitates. He did not finish. He did not need to. Back in the hall, the broadcast ended. The aliens returned to their knees. Vexcar looked up at Thorn. Is it enough? Thorn met his eyes. For now. He turned to leave. At the doors, he paused. Remember this day. The day you begged. The day mercy was granted, not because you deserved it, but because we chose it. The humans walked out. The doors sealed behind them, not broken this time, but closed by alien hands in respect and terror. The galaxy heard the broadcast. Worlds went quiet. Ships powered down. Borders opened. Envoys prepared to travel to Earth. The begging had been answered. Mercy came. But it was cold mercy. Conditional. Watched. The aliens had voted against Earth. Now they paid the price, in tribute, in shame, in eternal caution. And somewhere in the dark, the retribution waited. Silent. Ready. A reminder that mercy could end as quickly as it began. The new era had started. On human terms. Always on human terms. In the dim glow of the Retribution's secondary observation deck, Captain Elias Thorne stood alone. The viewport showed the capital world below, lights flickering back on slowly as alien engineers fought to restore power under human watch. The begging had stopped for now. Oaths had been sworn. Broadcasts sent. But Thorne knew the story was not finished. He activated a private secure channel. A single encrypted file transferred from Earth archives. Classified. Eyes only. He opened it. The holodisplay bloomed with old footage, grainy at first, then sharpening. Labs. White walls. Scientists in masks. Humans. But not ordinary humans. The footage showed a man on an operating table. Wires ran into his arms. Tubes fed glowing fluid into veins. His skin rippled, muscles growing denser, bones thickening visibly. Another clip, a woman in a tank, eyes open underwater, breathing liquid oxygen. Her heart rate slowed to near nothing, then surged with power. A child, no older than 10, lifted weights 10 times his size after injections. No pain on his face. Only focus. Voiceover from a doctor, Project Ascendant. Phase 1 complete. Enhanced strength. Enhanced speed. Enhanced healing. No rejection. No limits. Dates flashed. 50 years ago. 60. 70. Before the first contact with the galaxy. Before the trade pacts. Before the vote. Thorne switched files. Newer footage. A soldier in black armor, same as the team that stormed the council hall, took a plasma burn to the chest. The wound sealed in seconds. Flesh knit. No scar. Another clip, a pilot in a fighter cockpit. Brain interface direct. Thought became action. Ship moved like an extension of body. Reaction time impossible for baseline humans. The voiceover again, neural upgrades. Pain suppression. Fear removal. Adrenaline on demand. We are no longer just human. We are better. Thorne paused the playback. He stared at the frozen image of a man whose eyes glowed faint blue, augmented retinas seeing in infrared, ultraviolet, through smoke. They changed themselves, he whispered. Not in shock. In confirmation. Cut to a captured alien scientist. The being was small, furred, trembling in a holding cell on a human outpost. Thorne had ordered the interrogation gentle, no torture, just truth serum derived from alien biology turned against them. The scientist spoke in broken standard. We studied your bodies after first contact. Your DNA. Simple. Primitive. We laughed. But then, reports. Humans in zero gravity. No atrophy. Humans in high radiation. No cancer. Humans surviving wounds that kill us. We thought tricks. Then we saw the labs. Hidden. Deep underground. You rebuilt yourselves. For us. You knew we would come one day. You prepared. Not weapons only. You prepared bodies. Minds. You made monsters from your own flesh. The alien looked up, eyes wide. You are not normal anymore. You are evolved. On purpose. Thorne closed the file. He walked to the viewport. The planet spun slowly. Fragile. Beautiful. Deadly once. Now humbled. He thought back to the early days. Earth leaders had seen the galaxy's pattern. Strong species crushed the weak. Aliens expanded. Conquered. Enslaved. Humans were new. Small. But smart. They did not wait to be prey. They changed the rules. Biology first. Then tech. Then silence. Decades of quiet upgrades. Volunteers. Generations born with enhancements already in their blood. No one outside Earth knew. Traders smiled. Diplomats bowed. And all the while, humanity sharpened itself into a blade. A soft chime. Colonel Sarah Lynn's voice over calm, Captain. Interrogation summaries from captured scientists incoming. They all say the same. They underestimated us because we looked the same. Acted the same. But inside, we are different now. Thorne replied without turning. Send the full report to General Kane. And prepare a summary for broadcast. Not to scare them. To remind them. Lynn paused. You want the galaxy to know? Yes, Thorne said. Let them see why begging was wise. Let them understand the test is over. They failed. We passed. On Earth, in the mountain bunker, General Marcus Kane reviewed the same files. He had seen them before. Many times. He remembered the first trials. The pain. The losses. The successes. He remembered telling his own daughter, enhanced from birth, one day they will come for us. When they do, we will be ready. Not because we hate. Because we survive. Now that day had come. And humanity had not just survived. It had dominated. Kane looked at the live feed from the council hall. Aliens still knelt in small groups, waiting for further instructions. Envoys en route to Earth. Tribute ships loading. The galaxy learning fast. He spoke to the empty room. They thought we were soft. Prey. They voted to cut us out like a disease. He smiled thinly, the first real smile in days. But diseases adapt. They evolve. They become stronger. We did not become cancer. We became the cure. He pressed a button. A new signal went out. To every human ship. To every enhanced soldier. To every world now under watch. Phase 10 complete. The secret is no longer secret. Let them know, we changed ourselves for this moment. We are not what we were. We are what we needed to be. And we will stay this way. Forever. The message ended. Across the fleet, humans nodded. No cheers. Just quiet acceptance. They had waited. Planned. Upgraded. Fought. Won. Now the galaxy knew the truth behind the victory. It was not luck. Not tech alone. It was humanity itself, remade, unbreakable, unforgiving when threatened. In deep space, the retribution turned slowly. Its shadow fell across the capital once more. Aliens looked up. They saw the ship. They remembered the voice. They remembered the oaths. And now they remembered the labs. The changes. The evolution. Fear settled deeper, not of ships, not of weapons, but of what humans had become. Something beyond baseline. Something designed to win. The test was over. Humanity had passed with perfect marks. And the galaxy would never forget the lesson. They had voted against Earth. Earth had answered with something new. Something terrifying. Something eternal. The begging continued quietly now. Not loud. Not desperate. Just constant. Because mercy from the evolved was still mercy. But it came with eyes that saw everything. And hands that never trembled. In the vast emptiness of the galactic core, where stars burned too bright and too close, the last resistance flickered like dying embers. Alien fleets, once proud armadas, now drifted in broken formations. Engines cold. Weapons silent. Many ships had powered down on their own captain's orders. Others floated as hulks, gutted by precise strikes from human shadows that came and went without warning. The Retribution hung at the edge of the system, a black moon among the stars. Its presence alone kept the remaining warships frozen. No one dared move first. No one dared speak first. Across every alien world, screens lit up with emergency broadcasts. Not from the Council. From the people themselves. Citizens gathered in streets, in bunkers, in temples. They watched feeds of their leaders kneeling. They heard the oaths repeated again and again. We surrender. We beg mercy. We pledge peace. The words echoed in every language. Children asked why the sky was quiet. Elders whispered old stories of hubris. On border colonies, alien soldiers lowered rifles. They sat on the ground and waited. No fight left. Only waiting. In the council hall, now half empty, many leaders already en route to Earth as envoys, the remaining delegates gathered one last time. The crystal screen showed the galaxy map. Red dots for alien forces had turned gray one by one. Surrender signals poured in like rain. A feathered delegate spoke softly. It is over. We have nothing left. Admiral Vex Carr, present in hologram, nodded slowly. His face was hollow. We voted to destroy them. They destroyed nothing. They showed us what destruction means. And then they stopped. A crystalline being added, they could have ended us. They chose not to. That is their mercy. No one argued. The hardliners who once shouted for war now sat silent, heads bowed. Then the calm human voice returned. It filled the hall without warning. Steady. Unhurried. The galaxy is on fire. Your fleet's broken. Your worlds wait. One last message from Earth. Kneel or burn. The words were simple. No anger. No gloating. Just choice. The screen shifted to a live feed from the Retribution. Captain Elias Thorne appeared, face calm, uniform plain. Behind him, the bridge crew worked quietly. You have voted once against us, Thorne said. Now vote again. This time, for your survival. Broadcast your decision. All of you. Every leader. Every world. One answer only, yes to mercy. Yes to peace. Yes to never threatening Earth again. You have 1 hour. The hall erupted in quiet motion. Delegates rushed to consoles. Channels opened galaxy-wide. Emergency votes were called, not in secret chambers, but live, open, desperate. On capital worlds, assemblies gathered in minutes. On colony outposts, governors spoke from rooftops. The question was clear: do we accept Earth's terms? Do we beg mercy and swear peace? No debate. No filibuster. Hands, claws, tentacles raised in unison. One after another, worlds reported. Yes. 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 The tally climbed fast. Billions watched. Trillions heard. The final count appeared on every screen. 100% yes. No abstentions. No no's. Only surrender. The broadcast switched back to Thorne. He looked directly into the camera. The vote is recorded. Accepted. The fire stops now. He paused. But remember, this mercy is not free. Your fleets will stand down permanently. Your weapons will be dismantled under our watch. Your tribute will flow, resources, knowledge, loyalty. Your children will learn the truth of this day. Break any part, and the fire returns. Hotter. Faster. Final. The screen faded. No more words needed. On Earth, in the mountain bunker, General Marcus Kane watched the final tally. Colonel Sarah Lynn stood beside him. The room was quiet except for the soft hum of systems. Kane spoke first. They voted yes. All of them. Lin nodded. 100%. Kane looked at the star map. Gray dots everywhere. No red left. Good, he said. Send the acceptance protocol. Envoys will arrive soon. Treat them with courtesy. But never forget. He turned off the main display. The room dimmed. Across the fleet, human ships received the order. Weapons powered down, but not offline. Stealth fields stayed active. The Retribution turned slowly, pulling back from the core. It did not leave the system. It watched. Always watched. Captain Thorne stood on the bridge. His crew looked to him. "It's done," one officer said. Thorne shook his head once. "It's paused. Not done." He looked out at the stars. "They kneel today. They may rise tomorrow. We stay ready." The galaxy exhaled. Lights returned brighter on alien worlds. Ships docked. Factories hummed again, but under new rules. Tribute convoys formed. Envoys boarded shuttles bound for Earth. Children were told stories, not of glory, but of caution. Never vote against humans. Never laugh at their strength. Never forget the day the galaxy begged. Peace settled, not warm, not friendly. Cold. Careful. Watched. In the council hall, the remaining leaders sat in silence. Vexkar spoke last, voice barely above a whisper. "We voted against Earth. Earth voted back. And won." No one answered. They only nodded. The old order was gone. A new one rose in its place. Earth at the center, not by conquest, but by survival. By preparation. By power no one could match. The stars shone again. But now every gaze turned toward the small blue world. With fear. With respect. With the quiet knowledge that mercy had been granted once. It would not be granted twice. The galaxy had chosen. And the choice was final. Kneel. Or burn. They chose to kneel. And humanity, evolved, unbreakable, eternal, accepted. For now. In the quiet aftermath, the stars seemed to shine a little differently. No more distant explosions lit the void. No more emergency signals screamed across channels. The galaxy breathed again, slowly, carefully, like a creature that had narrowly escaped a predator's jaws. Alien worlds turned their lights back on. Cities rebuilt. Ships moved once more, but slower, quieter, always under watchful human eyes. Tribute convoys left docks loaded with rare metals, advanced tech schematics, and promises sealed in unbreakable code. Envoys arrived on Earth, not as conquerors, but as humbled guests. They walked the clean corridors of the mountain bunker, heads low, voices soft. They left with new treaties signed in their own blood and ink. The old Galactic Council still met, but now in a smaller hall, with human observers present. Always present. On a small frontier world called Lyritha's Hope, far from the core, an alien child sat on a rooftop at dusk. The sky was clear, stars sharp against the purple twilight. The child, a young feathered one with soft down still on her wings, looked up at the brightest point in the night, a tiny blue that humans called home. She turned to her grandfather, an old scaled being who had once served in the council fleets. His horns were chipped, his eyes tired but clear. "Grandfather," she asked in a small voice, "why did we lose?" The old one sighed. Wind rustled his feathers. He looked at the same blue dot for a long moment before answering. "Because we voted against humans," he said simply. "We saw their small ships, their quiet worlds, their polite diplomats. We laughed. We called them weak. We called them cancer. We thought we could erase them like a stain." He paused. His voice dropped lower. "But humans do not forget. They do not forgive easily. They waited. They built. They changed themselves, body, mind, soul, until they were ready. When we struck, they struck back. Not with rage. With precision. With silence. With power we never imagined. And when we begged, they listened. But they never forgot the vote." The child tilted her head. "Will they hurt us again?" The grandfather shook his head slowly. "Not if we keep our word. They rule fairly now. Trade flows. Wars stopped. Borders are open, but watched. They do not conquer for pleasure. They conquer to survive. And survive they did. Better than we ever could. He placed a gentle claw on her shoulder. Remember this lesson, little one. Never laugh at the quiet ones. Never vote to destroy what you do not understand. Humans are not like us. They adapt. They endure. They win. Far away, on Earth, the mountain bunker was quiet. General Marcus Kane stood on a balcony carved into the rock face. Below him spread the green valleys of his home. Above him, stars glittered. He looked at them the way a general looks at a battlefield after victory, not with joy, but with calm awareness. Colonel Sarah Lynn joined him. She carried no reports now, just silence between them. "It's peaceful," she said finally. Kane nodded. "For now." He pointed to a faint streak in the sky, a human transport returning from a tribute drop. "They pay. They learn. They remember." Lynn smiled faintly. "And we watch." "Always," Kane replied. Captain Elias Thorne stood on the bridge of the Retribution. The great ship had pulled back to the edge of human space. Its weapons were cold, but never offline. The crew worked routine shifts. No celebrations. No parades. Just quiet efficiency. Thorne looked at the main holodisplay. The galaxy map showed green lines now, trade routes, alliance pacts, tribute paths, all flowing toward Earth. Gray dots where old war fleets once waited. No red. No threats. He spoke softly to the empty bridge. "They begged. We listened." A pause. "But we never sleep." The child on Lyritha's Hope looked up again. A small human drone passed overhead, silent, silver, carrying sensors and cameras. It did not threaten. It observed. The child waved shyly. The drone dipped once, as if acknowledging, then continued its path. She smiled a little. Fear still lingered, but so did something new, respect. The galaxy had changed. No more votes to erase worlds. No more laughter at the small blue planet. Peace held, not because everyone loved humans, but because everyone feared what happened when they did not. Mercy had been granted. Mercy could be withdrawn. The stars watched. The blue world turned. And humanity, evolved, patient, unbreakable, sat at the center. Not as tyrants. Not as gods. As survivors who had earned their place. The storm had passed. But the shadow of retribution remained. A quiet reminder across the void. On Earth, General Kane turned from the balcony. He walked back inside. The doors closed behind him. Somewhere in the dark of space, a single human voice, calm, steady, whispered one last time. "They begged. We listened. But never forget." The stars kept shining. The galaxy kept turning. And in every corner, the lesson stayed alive. Never vote against humans. Never again. The end.